Hey, well, good morning, CFC. It's Pastor John Stone with our Tuesday morning devotion. And this week, as we come to Sunday, we're asking the question, how does the cross begin to kill our fear and bring hospitality into our lives? And I'll just read one verse, and we may look at more verses on Sunday. The Bible is full of the admonition to hospitality. In fact, it says that one of the characteristics of a church leader, of an elder, or a teaching or ruling elder or an overseer, is that they must be hospitable. And in Hebrews, we're reminded of this: keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Continue to remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourself were suffering. So Paul here encourages us to have hospitality with strangers. So you and I live in a time, and maybe especially us in this country, where we are increasingly told to be suspicious of and fearful of strangers. And I don't want your children taking candy from strangers. I don't want your children getting in cars with strangers. And certainly the world can feel, and in fact may be statistically, a more dangerous place to live. When you combine this with this struggle around immigration in our country, the bizarre way that people want to deal with immigration, it's understandable that we're suspicious. We see crime going up. We have widespread reports of people who've immigrated hurting people. I don't know how accurate that is, but I want you to at least hear this, that Paul here encourages us to be hospitable to strangers. There's 2 points to this. The cross kills fear and promotes hospitality. So the reason that the cross kills fear is that fear is the opposite of faith. I've said this several times, and I think you can appreciate it, but it feels like the opposite of faith, believing in Jesus, would be not believing in Jesus, but it's actually not. The opposite of faith is fear, anxiety, because in that case, we're putting our faith not in Jesus, but in ourselves or our own strength, and obsessing over a future outcome. But he says here, not only are we to love one another as brothers and sisters, but to show hospitality to strangers. The gospel has always been best communicated one-on-one. And so as the cross comes in, and as the cross shows us, for instance, this past week, that God is with us, that He is our rest, that He is our fortress, that He is our salvation, that even though we're being attacked, we can see that these are but humans, and that God, who is infinite, immutable, loving and transcendent as force, we begin to see fear go away. This is not the fear of a rattlesnake that we walked up on, or, oh, I can't believe I almost hit that car, and there's adrenaline rush. But this is a generalized idea that the world is unsafe and non-navigable, and there's nothing to be done. And Christians have always rejected that. The world that this passage is written to is far more unsafe than the world you and I live in here in Tucson. And what he's reminding us of is that one of the central ways that we spread the gospel is we are hospitable to other people. We invite in our neighbors. We invite in people that are very different than us. We invite in people with different beliefs than us, and we break bread with them. We give them shelter when they lack shelter. We provide for them. We give away our goods on behalf of the kingdom of God. We give away our goods, money, time, rooms, meals, energy on behalf of the kingdom, because Jesus gave that away for us, and we show hospitality to strangers. Now, of course, this requires wisdom, and I think often when you say this, people always think about homeless people. It is not wise to take in homeless people and feed them in your home. But I'm thinking of people who are really different than us, who vote differently than us, who educate their children differently than us, who have just gone through a horrific divorce, and even though they are opposed to your worldview, need your love and kindness. The heart of gospel ministry is that when we were His enemies, He died for us. And that means that when we are around people that we are tempted to or told to label as our enemies, that we are to show hospitality. In face-to-face meetings, we become honest about one another. We're able to hear one another and care for one another. It's a big topic. I look forward to being with you this Sunday. I hate to quit abruptly, but just remember this. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. For by so doing, some people have entertained angels without knowing it. It's a powerful passage. Look forward to being with you Sunday.